Today was a snowy Sunday. I decided to make some real Ghana Jollof. So I put all my ingredients together. You can see me cutting my onions, ginger, garlic, and then preparing to start making my jollof. So now my meat is all prepared and it's on the stove, and I'm slicing some onions, and you can see me adding all my onion, ginger, and garlic into my blender. Going to blend it, adding a little bit of water to it, and now I'm looking into blending it. So as I wait, my ingredients are being blended, and then yeah, so after blending all these ingredients, I just took it and then I turned my blender off, and then I added it into my pot with the meat, and I gave it a little stir. Now I added all my spices. I have my adobo, my salt, and I also added some nutmeg, and you see that I'm also stirring it whilst it is boiling. This smells so good. Now it is done, and you can see me taking it out of the pot and trying to drain it. So the meat is all done. I just put my oil on the stove, and it's time for me to fry my meat. I only use cow meat, so now you can see that I'm frying my meat in the oil. I just use a little bit of oil because it's very important to make sure that you are eating healthy. So I use a little bit of oil, and then I am frying my beef. So as I was frying the beef, I was also blending my ingredients for this preparation of the stew. So I have my pepper, onion, ginger, garlic, and I'm blending all together whilst I'm also looking out for my meat, giving it a stir so that it doesn't burn. Now my blended ingredients is done, and I see that my meat is also done. I'm taking it out from the oil and making sure that everything is out of the oil before I continue with the next step. Yeah, so now I took everything from the oil. As you can see, this is my meat. It looks so yummy and delicious. So I know some people will drain the oil so that they can throw the meat part out, but I don't do that. I just added my cut onion, and then I start frying it, making sure it doesn't burn. Then I added my blended pepper, ginger, garlic together, and I give it a stir. So as you see, I'm stirring it so that it doesn't burn. So as I'm stirring it, I'm also blending my tomato. So any amount of tomato you want, you can do it. And now you see that I'm adding my tomato to it. As I added the tomato, I give it a stir to make sure that it is smooth, and everything is simmer very well. So I keep stirring and making sure that it doesn't burn at the bottom. So I keep on stirring. There were part of the video that I couldn't capture because of a mistake, so I'm just going to give you explanation. I added all the spices I wanted. So my nutmeg, adobo, and you can see that I have some corned beef in it. I added my corned beef, but I couldn't take video of that part, so I stir it, and then I make sure that the stew is a little bit more cooked. Now you can see me washing my rice. So I wash the rice and I add the rice to the stew. I like my jollof to have a lot of stew in it, so if you can see it, you could see that the stew was more, and the stock from the meat that I cook, that is the water I use to make my jollof. I know some people will add it to the stew and keep cooking until it dries out, then they add extra water to it. I don't do that. I keep my stock from the stew. That is what I use to cook my jollof rice. So you saw that I added the stock to the rice, and I didn't add any extra water to it. So I added my rice and I gave it a stir, and I tasted to see if the salt is okay. If it is not enough, you can add a little bit to your satisfaction. I cover it, and now you'll see that I open it to give it a stir to make sure that it is well cooking. Yes, so at this point I added my meat to it, because my meat, I felt like it was a little bit tender and I wanted it more softer, because my household, they want like soft meat, so I have to add it to the rice. Normally I don't do that, but this time I added the meat to the rice and then cover it. So you can also see that there is a water on the foil. What I realized was that my rice, part of the rice was a little bit hard. So this I learned from my mom. When you're cooking and you see that the rice is not all cooked well, what you can do is you can create a hole inside the rice, and you put a plastic or a foil, then you put water inside the hole you created, then you can cover it and then allow the heat to cook it, and you are going to have an even cook. So that is what I did, and then my rice was all done, and you can see that I've served and I ate it, and I was so happy that